Everyone, I'm Lucky Number 7 and welcome once again to the Live Coders channel. We are here today with Michael Jolley, or a Bald Bearded Builder, and his hour of fame on this channel. It's not his only hour of fame. He was also on here about a month and a bit ago, saying that he had no memorable events and occurrences on his stream, which is interesting. So I'll introduce the man in a second, but we're here on the second interview of 150 something, with a lot more to go. I am looking at maybe dropping down to one a week, which actually should be useful. And we are going to do a little bit more work and a little bit more other stuff, mainly because it's hard work doing these interviews. It really is. I've only done one, and that was hard enough. Not a product placement. So what we're doing, so we are speaking to Michael and about everything he does with streaming and being a member of the Live Coders. So without further ado, let me unmute him and bring him on. I think let me have a look. Transition. There we go. Hello, how are you?
Hey Andy, how are you doing?
Not too bad at all. I think we're similar ages, aren't we? Ish, maybe, just about.
Similar. I missed you. You went out a little bit there.
We're similar ages, aren't we? Sort of mid to late 30s.
No.
Are you a little bit more? A little bit more? Tiny bit more?
A little bit more.
Okay.
More. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Middle aged then. Right, so forget that. A nice comment from me. Sorry about that. I will pump up my microphone. Is my microphone low? Oh, hang on. Michael's a bit low. Give me a second.
I'm a bit low.
There we go. No, that was my fault. I turned the music down and then forgot to turn you up.
Wow. So I think what we said is that I'm 25 and Andy's an old man.
Yes, correct. We will forget what we said at the start. So, first things first. You are a developer. So where did you start? Where are you at now? And tell us a little bit about your career life.
First of all, that sounded very accusatory. Like,
you are a developer.
You are a developer. So we know you're kind around here. Yeah, and so I started developing 20 years ago, doing
so fairly late in life.
Yeah. Right after I retired. Yeah, I started with I was not in like the tech field. I was working for like a big what do you call it? The industrial distributor selling bearings and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And they had just gotten computers like a month or two before I got there. And we're doing a lot of stuff with Excel and Word, and I was having to do a lot of that. I was just out of high school, really. And man, let me tell you, I was so sick and tired of doing the same old thing over and over again. And I figured out how to use VBA to kind of automate that. And that's where I got my start, was doing VBA stuff. And then that kind of graduated into VB, which graduated into VB.NET, then C#, and so
okay.
When I went to the front end, and I still probably mostly write that language that shall not be named most of the time.
There's no horses here, by the way, so you can say that name.
I know. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I mean, went from there and got an actual like proper development job in like a small little SaaS startup. And like SaaS startups like in the early 2000s were pretty new, I think. I mean, you didn't have, it wasn't a lot of SaaS back then. It was like different websites, but not necessarily, you know, software as a service, right?
Yeah.
So got started there and just worked my way up at that company, left there and helped start a custom software development shop. Was there for a long time. And yeah, then transitioned to Vonage, where I'm at now.
Excellent. So what do you do at Vonage?
So yeah, I'm not a developer anymore. So you with your accusations.
Yeah.
I'm actually a developer advocate. So I do get to develop a lot, but it's not my primary focus.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah.
So good to hear. And it's just like, I like it how so many of the live coders have such a varied background. Like one of us used to be a trucker. Hopefully he comes on
Yeah.
and tells us about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last week, on Tuesday, Full Stack Live said if he hadn't been a developer, he would have been a priest.
Oh wow. Really?
Yeah.
I can miss that. That's wild.
And well, I've always said I was a developer, but then if I wasn't going to be a developer, it would have been a policeman,
Oh
which is
wow. That's
which is a
different.
little bit different,
Yeah, yeah.
a little bit completely non-techy.
Yeah,
Although there's a lot of tech in police cars right now.
that's true. I think I have found. I remembered back, thinking about like when I was little. Like when you're young, how you are like, I want to be an X when I grow up, or a Y when I grow up. I always said I wanted to be an engineer, and not like trains, but like building, right? Um, so I was always really into Legos, Lincoln Logs, that just stuff to build stuff, right? And it wasn't until like I had been a software developer for a long time that I realized, hey, wait a minute, that's exactly what I am. It's just a different kind of building. So it's funny how like I didn't really envision this, but it's exactly what I imagined, kind of.
No, definitely. I feel exactly the same sometimes, and it's one of those things where we are part. Yeah, developers are always needed. At the moment, we are always needed for all the little bits that people don't realize that we do.
Mm.
And though when they do realize, they go, "Oh, you can do this as well," and you go, "No, no, 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 no." But there's definitely
Yeah.
that sort of people know what we do and how we do it. So
Mm.
moving on that note, um, you decided to go streaming and make it part of your job as well.
Again,
Because
that's very accusatory.
you're a streamer, you're a broadcaster.
I feel like
You,
I feel like I'm in court, and you're like cross-examining me. Mr. Jolley,
it's called an
on this
interview. It's called
date.
an interview.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Guilty, guilty,
Wait,
guilty.
on
Yes.
what date did you start streaming?
I don't know. Sometime in February of last year. The so yeah, I was still a software developer. Really, so my title for the last 6, 7, 8 years, I don't know how long, has been software architect, chief software architect at that development shop, where I did some building, I did some coding, but a lot of it was like architecting and designing systems for clients, and then kind of handing that over to other leads and other developers to build out. And I helped out a lot, but that was the primary focus. Um, so I had some time. I started watching streams. I started watching C Sharp Fritz. Started watching Clark EO, Dev Chatter, um, Adam13531, Suze Hinton, no Opcat, and really, just really started enjoying the community of it, and thought, let me give this a go. Just for the fun of it. Around that time frame, the end of that would been like the end of 2018, early 2019, I guess. A lot of folks like started streaming. I
Yes.
know several streamers. Robert Tables, that you talked about earlier, Rambling Geek, I believe. Uh, a lot of new streamers hitting around that time. I am not myself hit around that time, Um, so I just, jumped in, loved it after a couple like test runs and decided, hey, I want to keep doing this. And really, one of the earlier streams I did, somebody in chat mentioned like, they really appreciated the way we discussed something, like it made something that seemed out of reach, uh, made it seem approachable. And man, that lit me up. That was like the biggest self gratification I'd had in a long time. And I started really, when that happened, I started like kind of reevaluating what I was doing. And I knew that like as a software developer or building things, I really, I got some positive gratification when a customer used my software and enjoyed it. Um, it's cool to know that, um, like I've got some software that I wrote that runs at Coca-Cola, right? It's cool to know that it's there, but I also know that the way technology is, in 5 to 10 years, that's going to be replaced.
Unless it's COBOL.
So, it was not. It was not. Um, so I know, it was positive, but that impact on someone rather than a product was a much bigger thing for me, and I knew I wanted to do more of that. So streaming was kind of an outlet for that, to encourage others, build up others, help others, and then it just kind of grew from there.
I think I'm sort of the same as you, because what I did is I started streaming well, I was a bit one of the earlier ones, so I've been going for sort of 3 years now.
Yeah.
And I got into it because I was sat at home with sort of my new lad at the time. So he was just born. It was just after Christmas, so he'd been about 4 or 5 months old. He still wasn't sleeping at all. Still isn't after 3 years. And I got into it because I had the kit and I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going out on my bike anymore because I was spending the time with with my boy. And
Yeah.
I just thought, right, okay, I'll do some streaming. So I just got on the bike on a turbo trainer in front of the PC and streamed me cycling, which was weird. But then I got into development, and then from there, like you, it just went. It flew through. Oh, I'm learning my own sort of stuff, and then it
Mhm.
started being, oh, I'm teaching other people, and
Yeah.
then that led through that whole sort of 3 year process of all these other few things. But then
Mhm.
there was something that happened for both of us within about 20 minutes on New Year. What was that?
On the new year, I don't know what happened.
Microsoft MVP, my buddy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
So
that's right.
Michael Jolley, like myself, um, got
Back there on the
the
shelf, kind of. Right, you can't see it. It's bokeh'd out, but it's there.
yeah, like that one there. Um, so I think you got yours about 20 minutes before me, my email,
Oh.
and you Microsoft MVP. Congratulations. What does that actually mean for you?
Oh, it's kind of funny. I was telling my wife when I got nominated. I think it was we got nominated around the same time, like 3 or 4 months, kind of before.
July
The, that may have been right. Was it that long?
or
Maybe
end
it
of
was.
July? Maybe August.
But
I don't
maybe
know.
maybe I so I had told her, like, I can't believe this. I've been nominated. Uh, have you seen what I do? She has, and I'm like, there's like zero chance of this happening, but it was cool to be nominated. It had honestly been so. I've been all my I told you I started coding with VBA, right, and then going into VB.NET, C Sharp, and I had spent pretty much my whole career in the .NET and Microsoft world, right? So it had 100% been a career goal for as long as I can remember, you know, 10, 15 years. So it was very huge and humbling to say the least. And yeah, still it's that's why it's on the shelf back there. I like to take a peek at it every once in a while.
I mean,
Go. pet it, polish it up,
Polish off,
keep it shiny.
but yeah, no dust on that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
So, well, we'll talk about the turquoise thing next to your MVP award in a minute, or a bit later on. But yeah,
Handsome devil.
from here it looks a bit blurry with one eye, but
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that's. But what? I'm the same as you. I've always been in the .NET sphere, but to be nominated, I was just like, hang on, I'm not smart enough. I've never
Yeah,
been that.
exactly.
I've never been that sort of person to ever aim. It would be a luxury to even be considered for it. But because you always see the tweets from other MVPs, and you're like, yeah, you're smart. Like Rick Hempworth and Nick Craver and all the other sorts of MVPs, and you're
Yeah.
like, yeah, you're smart people. I'm just not one of.
Mhm.
I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
And then when you get nominated, you go, that's pretty cool. But I'm not. It's like
Yeah.
by the time
Yeah.
it gets from July when you filled in your nomination form until they
Yeah.
start talking to you, it's just like, yeah, no, I'm probably not going to
Yeah.
get this.
Yeah, I mean, secretly, I'm kind of thinking, oh, somebody made a typo when they filled out the submission form. There's probably like a Michael Jockey somewhere that has really done a lot for the .NET community that deserves the .NET or an MVP award, and he's still frustrated about it.
I can just see that now. It's just like, oh no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We'll give this guy the award and get Michael Jockey in next year.
Yeah. Well, we've already messed up. We've already sent in the box with the prize or whatever. Yeah.
He's Electric Havoc. Yes, he's so mad, just sat there
Yeah.
rambling.
Yeah.
By the way, I would like to say hello to everyone who's been in chat. Sorry, we have been ignoring you. We were just really rambling on a little bit. But we are moving ahead, and it's nice to see you all. By the way, if you do have any questions for Mr. Jolley, just please put them in chat. We'll try and answer them if I remember to actually look at chat. Or if are you looking at chat, Michael?
I am. Yes.
So if you see anything, just pipe up and tell me to shut up. I think the idea is. So that is your career and a little bit of streaming. But
Yeah.
what I'm going to do next is your stream has evolved, like most,
Oh yeah.
over the year and a half you've been doing it, ish. I'm going to say year and a half, so around about that time. So Christmas last year, I say.
Yeah.
So you've been out spending a bit of money, but then also you've got a puppet. What
I've
does
been
it,
spending a bit of money.
dude? I'm like the same. It's just like I just bought myself a Focusrite for the mic and everything like that. And it's just like, yeah, this is much better than my actual Yamaha deck that I had, and it was just like, yeah, this is nice, like it.
Yeah.
But you got to have all those toys,
Yeah.
all the toys. So
Yeah.
I have not seen the puppet streams, I'm afraid. So
Okay.
tell us a little more.
So the puppet back there is an animatronic puppet. We had him custom built for the stream. He has servos to control his eyelids. Each eyelid is independent. The mouth is independent. And then there are two servos to control his eyes. One controls left and right. One controls up and down, and they work in tandem so that he can look in diagonals. Right. So we've already done it. Essentially, we built a little web app that you can load up, and it will access your camera using the browser, do some facial tracking, and then specifically track your blinking and your mouth being open or closed, and then basically send webhooks to a particle device that's inside that puppet's head and make him blink or talk as you do.
Wow. Okay. That
Yeah.
And that is that sort of anyone can load up that, or is that just specifically you at the moment, or are you going to expand it to maybe having viewers control him?
That's a really good
or
question.
her?
So that is the plan. That is the plan. Yeah. So right now it's just opening up, a browser on my computer, but really that browser is just making calls to the cloud that are sending down those calls to the particle board. So it doesn't have to be me. There's been some thought as far as maybe we make a command chat or something, a chat command rather that maybe like we call him IO. So maybe bang IO space hello world and use text to speech, create that wave file or whatever, play it at the same time we control his mouth, and maybe watch the audio levels of the wave file to know when it's highs and lows,
Mm-hmm.
to know whether to open or close. Um, there's been several ideas passed around. Maybe use like channel points or something, and let you whisper you a link to the controller, the web app that controls him, and give you 5 or 10 minutes to control him, and
I've got
he goes
another
to
one
town.
for you. So the eyes, are they almost analog stick type control over them? So you can do it from, say, forward is 0 up to 90-degree type. Not quite 90 degrees, because that would just look weird. So is it sort of anywhere between 0 and you can just sort of, or is it
So
just,
so
or is it
it's
just
two different.
straight up?
It's two servos working in tandem. So
Okay.
one servo controls left to right,
Yeah.
and then one servo controls up and down.
So it's on or
Right.
off rather than analog. So you
It's
can't
not
do like
just on and off.
degrees.
There are degrees. Yeah. No,
Oh,
it's
excellent.
from position A to position B, and then position up and down, and they work in tandem. So you can go up 30 degrees, left 20 degrees,
Yeah.
to get the full range of motion of your eyes.
Maybe a Twitch extension that has the eyes on, so you can just play with them
Yeah.
for bits.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, technically, I could replace myself with him. Just have him, have a camera just on him, and instead of me sitting there, it's him sitting there. And when I talk, his mouth is moving, and as I look around, one thing I want to do is he's got a stand that I built running up inside to control, keep him upright. So I'd really like to add in like right there around his neck, put in two more servos, one that goes left, right, one forward and backwards, so that he can do exactly what you're doing. He
Yeah, I know.
can look up and look left and, turn his head and then really do stuff.
That would be that. Yeah, that's really neat stuff. And I think that's where. Would you have ever had that idea if you weren't streaming?
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, Andy, I mean, if I tell you that I want to use WebRTC and I want to use JavaScript to do facial tracking and I want to play with webhooks, come on. I mean, isn't the first thing you think of Puppet? I mean, I felt like that was just like a no brainer. I mean,
Yes, yes. Puppets certainly do come to mind. Or Muppet, I think more like it. But
yeah, no. So no, I would not have. I would have not have got that guy if I hadn't
Jim
been streaming for
Henson.
sure.
Right. So you have the animatronic side that you're starting to do, and you have your just general coding, and I know you spend a lot of time on your website with Gridsome, a lot of time on your serverless bot, which is actually
Yeah.
looking really nice. I like that.
Thank you.
And now the electronic side, where do you want to take it, or have you got any ideas for down the line?
Yeah. So
And
yeah.
sorry,
Go
I'm
ahead. Go
sorry,
ahead.
two
No,
two
finish.
part.
Finish. No, finish.
And
No.
where do you see yourself in 3 years? Do you see yourself still street? I know this is the standard sort of company. Where do you see yourself in 3 years or 5 years or whatever? What's your long term goals? And I always
Yeah,
typically I just say your job to the other to the people who interview me, and they're just like,
yeah. So I would think 3 years from now, I'm really hoping by then that there's another Twitch team that's of developers that's really good, and that I'm a part of it. not like that's a total joke. Total joke. So no, no. So where is the stream going? So there's this. I would say that my stream is what people don't realize is that it's controlled chaos. If you come in and watch, you will think it's utter pandemonium. This guy cannot focus for more than 2 seconds. Um, what's the point of this? Um, and I'm not going to lie, it kind of is. But what people don't realize is that I actually plan out my streams months in advance. Right now, I know what we're working on until I think I've got it through April of next year. Um, which is a lot of stuff. So, what's coming? I can tell you that we're going to be doing some Unity stuff. I don't want to tell too much because some of it's I don't want to spoil. Some
No,
Unity.
that's
We're
fine.
gonna do we're gonna do some React. We're gonna do some React. Uh, yeah, we're gonna do some Mac stuff. There's a lot more IoT stuff to do. Um, yeah, I don't want to give it away too much, but I can tell you that this is what the end of May. Uh,
Yeah, we're halfway through the year nearly.
if I look up in air, I keep all that stuff in Airtable. If I were to go look up in Airtable, I could tell you what we're going to do every single week for a long time.
I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow.
Isn't that crazy?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, no, I do know what I'm doing tomorrow, but it's just like, when I typically start a stream, I go, okay, so I've got this target of well, actually, in about a week, maybe a
Mhm.
week and a half, to get this production software for the Live Coders Conference
Yeah.
sort of almost ready. So it's not going to look pretty. So that's what my next few streams are, is building that.
Yeah.
So I know what that is, and then after that, I'm going
Mhm.
back onto TwitchLib and doing that for a couple of months or a
Yeah.
month, and then I don't know what I'm doing. So yes, I know the general. Oh, here's a project that I'm doing.
Mhm.
Do you plan it down to the individual stream, or is it just here's the project I'm doing next, here's the next project?
It depends. So if yesterday was a good example. Yesterday was kind of I hate to say filler stream, but there was no individual project. So that one I've got kind of schedules as a repo maintenance kind of
Mm-hmm.
stream, which means what did we do? We worked on some bugs in our chatbot, got those taken care of. We have a Visual Studio Code extension that we built that integrates with Twitch chat, so people can change my theme during the
Yes.
stream. There was an update to Twitch's API, as you know, that for authentication,
Yes.
which broke that extension. So we went in and cleaned that up, fixed it, got it published to the marketplace. Fragberg mentions in chat that by we, I mean Parathon, and he's not quite wrong. Although Parathon didn't help us yesterday, he wasn't there yesterday. But anyway, um, so a lot of those little projects that we have going along the way that just need a little touch up here and there.
Yes.
Um, I'll do have set like repo maintenance kind of streams set up so that every few weeks, 3 at least, there's one of those streams so that we can kind of keep up to date. Because a lot of the people in our community commit PRs and submit issues and stuff like that to our repos. So I don't want them to sit forever and think, well, this guy just doesn't
Ignores my
like me,
work.
or yeah, exactly, yeah. So I schedule that, but then as far as like the Unity stuff, I know we're going to do some Unity later this year. I know exactly the projects we're going to do. I haven't built them. We're actually going to learn Unity on stream, so there's a little bit of planning as far as we're going to do Unity, but I don't want to go too far and figure it all out ahead of time because that's part of the controlled chaos, the chaos of learning it while we're live.
Yes.
So I'll know we're going to build like on this Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're going to be working on this specific project to accomplish this specific goal and learn Unity as we do it. but it's not like I have like secretly built the project beforehand and we're just kind of going through it again, you know,
Yeah,
like it's real.
that's cool. That's
It's always
very
real.
cool. It's real time or
Yeah.
live scripted
Yeah.
or
And
live
and
unscripted.
there's a lot of wiggle room there too. Cause I mean,
Yes.
like, um, for things like this, like if I, if I'm going to be on something like this or get invited somewhere else, I want to have some wiggle room there to be able to do that kind of stuff and not be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm booked up till April of 2021, and you know, I'll see if I can fit you into my calendar.
Oh, I think it's another live coder who has his he has a stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I think, and it's like coding with, and he went, "Oh, could I have a few people who wants to come on my stream?" I was like, "Well, do." He goes, "Here's my calendar." I looked through it. His first free spot was like middle of July somewhere, and he
Oh
does like
wow,
2 of these a week, and he's just
yeah,
like, "Yeah, that's a while off, isn't it?"
yeah, yeah,
So it's just like, yeah, he's a busy bloke, and it's one of those things where I'm busy, you're busy. I think everyone has their own streams, and
mhm,
at the moment, I'm sort of a little bit in between the two. I want to do stuff for that, and I want to do
yeah,
stuff for the live coders
yeah,
because I think that's where I'm going to take this next. Is you joined the live coders probably at the same time I did because I think it was like
mm,
there was a big sort of mass block of about 80 of us or maybe 60 of us that
yeah,
sort of all got in at the end of no start of last year,
yeah.
January, February. And why did you join the live coders?
I was forced. Um,
Was this Fritz again?
uh, Jeff Prince came to my house, and he made me do it. He made me join the lot of coders, and he like kind of held me up against the wall and forced me to drink Madrinas. Um, uh, so yeah, no, uh, the live coders team and I don't even say the live coders team, the whole community that Jeff has really kind of like amped up. Right, a lot of this community was already here, following folks like Clarkio, like Jeff, like Suze Hinton, yourself. A lot of those people were already here. They just weren't necessarily all maybe organized. Is that the right word?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was. Go ahead.
yeah. We were sort of sat there for almost a year, um, and then this year everything kicked off because I'm going to say because of COVID, and it sort of did, and it was that one little idea that somebody came in to the Discord and said, "Why don't we put on a conference?" As soon
I'd
as
say
that,
even before that. I'd say even before
really,
that. I mean, last year. I mean, it really took off last year. Even, um, uh, I would say middle of the year on, like people
what
really
towards
started
TwitchCon?
streaming a lot.
Is that was that
Even,
sort
even
of
I think even beyond that. I mean, there's a lot of companies that were already streaming. I mean, like there's every company under the sun is now doing live streaming. Yeah, Bobby
yeah?
Johnson in chat mentions that every DevRel person he knows is suddenly a live streamer. But they started, coming in last year. I mean, look, Bobby's in DevRel, he's doing it. Clarkio is doing the same thing. Jeff's a PM. There were people trickling in, but I mean, like as far as like the community of developers kind of working together. There were these individual pockets of community that kind of overlapped. But I think once Jeff really started the Live Coders team, that's when it really seemed like all those communities kind of gelled back together, or not back together, but they started kind of blending and mixing.
Yes.
And it's just kind of as we've added teammates, as COVID has hit and people are watching more, it's grown more and more and more. So being a part of that community, it didn't feel like, why why did why did you join the team? I mean, I felt like I was a part of the community already.
Hmm.
And when Jeff said, hey, I've seen your content, it's great. I think you're a great fit to the team. Would love to have you. Come on. I was, of course, it's like the MVP, the Microsoft MVP. If they say, hey, we think you've done something that is worthy of the MVP award, you don't say, well, I don't know. I just, let me think about it. You say thank you and you graciously accept the opportunity.
Mm,
Um, so I don't think there was even really like a question of, would I or wouldn't I? We've got some amazing folks on the team. I get a little bit of imposter syndrome, honestly, when I see what some of them are doing.
yes. It's like my mind gets blown every time I sort of hop into somebody's stream and they go, "Yeah, I'm learning this today," or
Yeah.
like Instafluff and his at the moment he's doing a lot of AI stuff, and then it's like you jump into Fritz and he's doing Blazor a
Hmm.
lot at the moment, and
Yeah.
I mean I'm doing a lot of Twitch dev, and I always have done a lot of
Yeah.
Twitch dev, and that's my thing.
Yeah.
So it's just like I know off the top of the head pretty much which API it is and which author, if it's Helix or V5 or whatever. So it's one of those things where we've all got our speciality, including you.
Yeah.
There's no one on the team that hasn't got their own speciality.
Yeah.
Um, but there's some minds on that team that you just think,
Yeah.
wow, what? Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Absolutely.
and agree with you on the imposter syndrome sometimes, but only
Hmm.
sometimes. It's one of those that it's like
Yeah.
if you're having a bad day, you go, I shouldn't be here. I should not be
Well,
here.
I don't think that's a live code thing. I think I think that's everybody's. Uh, every developer hits that at some point. As a matter of fact, let me just take a break and say, if you're sitting out there and you're facing imposter syndrome today, you feel like, I don't feel like I match up to what these people on Twitter or Instagram or whatever are doing, turn that off. Okay. You are awesome. Somebody believes in you. Uh, I believe in you. I think you're a great developer. You're awesome. Don't feel like that. It's just a bad day. Uh, take a weekend off and hit it back on Monday and see.
Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you very much. That was a public service
It
announcement
was.
brought to you by
The more you know.
Pepsi. No, I'm joking. Um, uh, so okay, so we've done computing, we've done streaming.
Mhm.
You're a family man. You've got a couple of kids.
I have got three.
Ooh. Um,
Yeah.
so you try and avoid them as much as possible. What else do you do apart from
Oh no, man, they are
avoiding
great.
family and the rest?
They are absolutely great. Uh, and I think pretty much everybody who's seen my stream have seen my kids at some point. We did a fantastic series. It's probably one of my proudest moments, not just as a streamer, but as a dad. When last year my daughters interviewed some just amazing developers. They're part of the Heroines of JavaScript card deck. We reached out to them. They started coming in, and every other Sunday, my two daughters, who were they're how old are they? 13 and 11. Um, they would get a chance to. They did the interview. I basically introduced the guest, introduced my daughters, and then they spent the entire stream interviewing them. Uh, it was fantastic. It was fantastic to not only see uh, the amazing developers who let us talk to them. But also to see like the progression and growth of my daughters, as a dad, that's kind of cool. Um, and frankly, I was a little jealous because I'm like, man, I wish these people were guests on my stream that I could talk to. uh, but that was really kind of huge. So I really enjoyed them being part of that. And then of course, my 4-year-old Nate, he comes in whenever he feels like it, and um, he thinks it's his stream too.
Oh, if I was streaming during the day, it would be boy running around everywhere because
Mhm.
he's 4 in August, and it's just like
Yeah.
all you'd hear in the background is
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
straight
He
through.
loves to come in. He loves to come in. He wants to tell a joke. He always wants to tell a joke. He loves to pick a candle, and he loves to hit the buttons on the Go XLR. But we only do that off stream.
Ah, good, good, good. So So yes, you're.
Did I answer
That's
the
that.
question?
Oh no! Actually, you didn't.
I
We, we,
totally forgot the question.
I said, what else do you do apart from PCs and computing? And then we got onto your.
Okay, yeah.
Then we got onto your daughters
It's
doing
your
the
own fault for
interviews.
asking about my kids. You said you brought up my kids. I'm a proud dad. I'm gonna start talking about them
Uh,
for the next. You're like getting break out my wallet and start showing you all the pictures.
yeah, and I haven't even mentioned the fact that at the moment all your subs and bits are going to help charities either.
Oh, that's true.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to get that down to that in a minute because
Right.
I had that bit planned. If it wasn't mentioned these two things, and that was your
Yeah.
your heroines of JavaScript, which was
Yeah.
with a fantastic series, and I really enjoyed all the interviews, the ones that I caught, and then I rewatched the VODs on the ones that I didn't.
Yeah.
And congratulations on actually getting all those people into interview and get your daughters to
Yeah.
interview. I mean, your daughters probably had all the questions ready and what they wanted to ask anyway. I
They did all
guess.
the work. I didn't make up any of the questions. I would give them. I've got them on my desk actually. Here, I'll show you. So this is Joe Franchetti's, but the whole deck of them, right? On the back of the card, you can't really see it, but it's their name, their title, and kind of just like a couple paragraphs about them. So I would let them. We would pick a card out that they were going to interview that 2 weeks from that day, and they would read the cards and then go check out their Twitter or Instagrams, whatever, and they would come up with the questions themselves. And I mean, as you would expect, like a 12 and 10-year-old at the time to do, the questions ranged from how did you get into technology, um, what's your favorite thing that you built, all from that all the way to what's your favorite animal, as a stereotypical that age. So that was really cool. But you know what, I'll go ahead and tell you right now, I will announce this live on this channel. So the girls quit doing it because they were so busy with like school and dance and all the things all the things they participate in. So it was a lot of work for them coming up with questions and all this kind of stuff. They weren't really like interested in continuing. But then earlier this year, I don't know how, but Scott Hanselman found the series on YouTube, and he like tweeted it out or something, and is like, check out this, really cute interview by the Jolly Girls with Suze Hinton. I think it was Suze that he shared. Now, anybody in the Microsoft space is probably a Scott Hanselman fan.
All the
But
Scots, all the Scots.
all the Scots, yeah, exactly. My daughters have no context for who Scott Hanselman is, but
Did you go?
they've. I am over here like, oh my god! But they have heard me talk about Scott in the past, and they were so excited that they're like, when can we do more? When can we do this? And how can we do it in such a way that we don't get tired of it? So we're going to come out with a new series with them. They're going to lead the charge on it, where they're going to start doing the interview series again.
Nice.
I think they've still got 10 heroines to interview. And then we've got some folks that are non-heroines. They've got some other ideas that I can't spoil. But they're also going to do some stuff learning how to code. Not even like interviews, but they're actually going to learn how to do some, they've got some mobile app ideas. They want to learn how to write code and build their apps. So that'll be a lot of fun. I think we're going to call that series Baldy and the Bugs, because I guess that sounds terrible that I'm calling my kids bugs, but my daughter's names are Lauren and Layla. Lauren's first name is Cadence, and we've always called her Katie Bug. And then we've always called Layla Bug. So that's where it came from.
Excellent.
Baldy and the Bugs. Yeah.
So back to the actual question.
Oh, I did it again, didn't
I? No, it's absolutely fine. This is the whole point of this. It's to get to know you. And this is
you
why.
Didn't know about my kids?
No. Well, no. Of course we did. We want to know about your streaming, your life.
Yeah, yeah.
So, is there anything else in your life, like
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You're talking about
cycling
hobbies.
or
That's right. Right.
yes,
That's right. You're
hobbies?
talking about some of that. Yeah, yeah. So absolutely. Kind of going in that whole theme of uh builder stuff. Man, there's so many things I love. One is woodworking. I haven't been able to park my truck in my garage for a long time now because I've got all this stuff out. Matter of fact, the stand that IO is using, I was able to build these shelves behind me with the iron pipes and the uh, wood. There's some this whole office, the wall behind me that you can't see is like a faux shiplap that I love doing woodworking. Tables, and I'm actually in the process of building a desk right now, and I can't wait to finish it. Um, so what I'm doing is I'm building in like I got like a wireless charger for my phone, and this desk I'm building the wireless charger into the desk so that all I've got to do is set my phone on my desk. Um, I'm building into it slots for like my Stream Deck to sit, slots for the Go XLR to sit. Um, so my desk isn't all cluttered. It's all just like it's very custom, right, to what I'm doing. Of
And
course, that means when I quit using the Stream Deck, I had to go build a new desk, but that's fun too.
so, your desk is a sit stand, isn't it?
It's a sit stand. It's very manual. I had one of those IKEA sit stands with a motor on it, but I found that when it's motorized and that easy, I sit a lot because it's so easy to
Put it down.
sit. This one is a sit stand, but it's very manual. And I find I stand more because it's such an aggravation to lower it. Of course, I just defeated that by buying this chair that is just raised up so I can sit. So it's
Like a
defeating the
bar
purpose, I
stool.
guess.
You've basically got a bar stool now.
It's not, it's like a proper office desk, but it's like raised up. Right? It's really tall. It's interesting.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I got to quit
So,
doing that too.
definitely. So the same here. I actually need to sort out my desk because at the moment it's got basically scaffolding attached to it. So there's if anyone's seen the photos, yeah, scaffolding attached to my desk,
Yeah.
which holds my monitors, and the legs are pretty much non-existent. I need it sort of
Mm-hmm.
a little bit wider and sort of. It's going to need like proper hydraulics, like digger arm
Yeah.
type hydraulics to lift it.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a project and a half. But
Mm-hmm.
so what we are running out of time. So is there something you want to ask me? Any questions for me that you want to know?
What happened? What happened to lucky number 1 through 6?
They were not so lucky.
Where? So I'm really curious. Where did lucky number 11 come from?
The film name, Lucky Number 11, which came out in 2006.
It's a movie.
It is.
I didn't realize that.
Okay, so this is the most. Okay, it's I find it a really good movie, but it's the most underrated movie with the most enormous cast possible. Okay,
Mhm.
so Ben Kingsley,
Okay.
Morgan Freeman,
Yeah.
Bruce Willis,
Mhm.
Josh Hartnett, Lucy
Okay.
Liu, and others.
Wow.
And it's just like, yeah,
That's interesting. I've never seen it.
yeah, go and watch it. It is amazing, and the plot twists, and yeah,
Hmm. That's interesting. I'll check that out this weekend then.
yes,
I've got
definitely.
I've got nothing but time and some Netflix.
If it's on Netflix, but yeah, I got I watched the film, and then like literally a month later I bought my Xbox, and I was trying to think of a gamer tag,
It's your gamer tag. There you
and
go.
that's what it has been for 14 years.
Really? Wow. That's a long time. Wow.
And I purposely went with the 7 because it
I feel like that's the way it's spelled in the movie, isn't it?
no,
It's
what it
not?
is on the movie poster, the L is actually replaced with a gun upside down.
Okay. Okay.
I think you're thinking maybe 7, which is the 7 Deadly Sins one, which is
Yeah. That's what I've seen. That's what I've
Yeah.
seen. The what's in the box? What's in the box? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. See,
What's in
that's
the
what I
box
think of
question?
every time.
Yeah, no, slightly different film.
Yeah,
Um,
apparently.
right.
Although,
Thank
isn't
you.
Morgan Friggin Morgan Freeman's in that one too, isn't he?
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
Yes.
Wow.
I was going to say,
Now you know.
on that note, um, thank you very much, Michael. It's been a great hour. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Eh,
No, fair enough. Would you come again in 153 episodes time?
are you paying just as much next time?
I might stretch to a badge or a sticker, just the individual sticker. Yeah.
There's I'll do a lot for stickers. I'll be here for stickers. Absolutely.
Good, good, good.
Yeah. Hey, can I mention something real quick? You brought it up earlier about the charity.
Yes.
And I want to mention it, but it's because I love it. Uh, we do. All of our subs and cheers and donations go completely to charity. It's an organization called Backpack Buddies who feed kids who don't know where their next meal's coming from. So they basically take food to the schools, even during this time, like when schools are shut down, they're feeding kids. Um, and these kids like literally don't know where their food's coming from. So we've been able to give them like I think we've raised right around $1,600 for them this year. Um, so we have fed something 400-ish kids.
Isn't it something like
Um,
$3 a day or
I think it's
something?
four a week, 4 a week.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
$4 a week. Yeah,
I mean that $4 a week seems ridiculously low, to be honest, to feed kids.
it's really impressive so they really buy in bulk. And what's good is they don't buy stuff that's like you'd think you could probably eat cheap if you just buy like ramen. You could give the kids ramen and be like really really cheap, but they don't. They give them like really quality foods. Make sure they feed them basically like it's 4,000. They're feeding them for the weekend because the schools here feed kids during the week. They'll feed them breakfast, they'll feed them lunch, and even send them home with like a little sack lunch kind of thing for dinner. But those kids don't have anything on the weekends. So what Backpack Buddies do I don't know. Uh, on Friday before they leave school, they put the bag of food in their backpack and they go home with like 4,000 calories worth of food, and they do that every week. And of course, now they're doing it during the summer. Even though schools have been kind of shut down, they've been delivering bags to kids. It's pretty insane to think that we need to do that, but I'm glad they're there, and we're going to support them in doing that for sure.
Completely agree, mate. Completely agree. So, sorry, I didn't go back to that one. I
No,
completely
no,
forgot
no,
about
no.
it. Sorry about that. Yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed yourself, and
I have.
thank you very much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Uh, we will do this again. In fact, Tuesday is C Sharp Fritz.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yes. So we've got C Sharp Fritz, same time, same channel, different day. It's on Tuesday next week, 8 p.m. UTC. I am doing it in UTC because there are currently no daylight saving times going on, so I think we're pretty safe.
Sounds good to me.
I hope. So, thank you very much for being here. We are going to raid somebody, and thank you very much, Michael. I'm just going to go across to the other screen now, and you can hop off. Bye for now.
See ya. Thanks. Bye.
There we go, people. Thank you very much for being here. We're going to hit somebody up for a raid. If anyone's got any suggestions, just please pop them in chat, and we will go and see them. You're not going online tonight, are you, Michael? Oh no, he's gone. Disappeared. He left me. He left me. Where's the team gone? By the way, if you actually know the film reference for that one, yeah, it wasn't that he left me. It was he left us, I believe. Wow. Friday night is like dead team, isn't it? Ooh, I know what we're gonna do. Wow. Okay. I was gonna say we're gonna do Coding Garden. Let's do Coding Garden because he actually raided me the other day. Sorry about that. And if I could actually spell Coding Garden and without anything like that. Thank you very much, everyone. I will see you next week on Tuesday. Please come by and say hi. We're here, and hopefully see you again soon. Bye for